Very good evening. Can you hear me? Please confirm. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for your response. Very good evening, one and all. Yesterday, basically, matrix operations are also very important. That's the reason day by day I'm giving all the examples, like because addition and subtraction, division, and all are similar operations. Of course, multiplication is different. Yesterday we have discussed about that anyway. Okay. So today I would like to discuss about transposition matrix, and only limited students have submitted the assignment. I think they have some problem. I think so, no problem. Anyway, let me explain, guys. Okay. Anyway, we'll discuss about transfer of a matrix. As everyone knows, is what is a transfer of a matrix. First, let me explain what is a transfer of a matrix. First, I'm taking a row. I'm taking a matrix called A equal to like 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the matrix I'm having. So if I'm giving like A transposition equal to 1, 3, 2, 4. You should observe the logic is very simple, guys. Don't think the program is very lengthy. Okay, don't think in that way. So first of all, in matrix or mathematics or programming, we used to tell this position as 0, 0. This is 0, 1. This is 1, 0. This is 1, 1. We know that already. So basically, whenever you are having a matrix like M1 of Ij, okay, the 0, 0 position and 1, 1 positions are same in the resultant matrices also. That means whenever we are giving a transposition of a matrix, so here the 0, 1 place, the element will be replaced with 1, 0 position, and in the 1, 0 place you are replacing with the 0, 1 element. That's all. So that means 0, 1 element is founded here. So here the 1, 0 element you can find it here. Okay, so this is the way you think first of all. That means you just, because this is basically a 2 by 2. If you are giving like 2 by 3, it will be different, right? Because 3 by 2, that means it will be like, for example, if you are giving 2 rows, 3 columns, if you perform the transposition operation, you will get a 3 by 2 matrices, right? So that means here rows and columns also will be, we have to take the in the for loop. So that's the reason I'm taking like this example, guys. So I will tell you easily. If you have any doubts, please let me know, no problem. You can mention in the chat box, guys. First, let me execute it first. After that, I will explain. So this will work for any matrices, not only for 2 by 2 or 3 by 2. You can transfer 2 by 3 matrices also. That's not an issue. But let me take in a simple manner only. Okay, 2 by 2, 2 rows, 2 columns. I'm just giving what I told you earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm getting 1, 3, 2, 4. That means I'm getting the correct answer, guys. Okay. So here. Okay. So 1 minute. Okay. Fine. So I will display like this. Okay. First of all, R. What do you mean by R? So R is a number of rows equal to enter row size. So I'm taking R 2. That means this value will be stored in R. So I'm writing here R. Next, C equal to int of input enter column size. I'm giving a column size as 2 only. That means it will be stored in C variable. I think it is clear to all of you guys. Okay. So print, enter the matrix elements. That means you will get in a printf statement like enter the matrix elements. So here you can easily observe that. Let me move it here right side. 1 minute. Oh, okay. No problem, but again it will change. The R and C portions are changing. Anyway, I will scroll here like this. Okay. So I'm taking m equal to that is matrix like that. Okay. I'm taking equal to m equal to here. I'm taking int of input of for j in range of C, for I in range of R. So this is called inner for loop. J is inner for loop and I is in outer for loop. So whatever the values I am giving here, so it will be stored in another matrices, right? So that means I am taking a variable called m for storing the matrix. Okay. So 1 minute. Okay. For I in range of bracket R. So R means number of rows, that is 2. That means I started from 0, okay, and 1. So range of 2 means I iterates from 0 and 1, but it will start from 0 position. So after that, so j in range of C. J in range of C means again j starts from C. That means C value is 2. That means it is also iterates from 0 and 1 2 times. But whenever the entering into the new loop, that means the outer for loop is 0 portion, that is I value is 0, and inner for loop j is also 0 portion. That means the first element, whatever the value you are taking, enter the matrix elements, you are taking 1. That means I portion is 0, j portion is 0. It will be stored in 0, 0 portion. After that, inner for loop will be incremented. That means inner for loop j iteration is completed for 0, it will move to the 1. Because I have given a 2. 2 means it will iterate from 0 and 1 only. You should understand carefully. And now it will read that value in the portion of 0 and 1. Because here I value is 0, guys. Here I value is 0 and j iterates from 1. So that's the reason next element will be stored in 2. The 2 will be stored in 0, 1 position. After that, j iterations are completed. Because I am giving c value as 2 only, it will iterate from 0 and 1 only. Okay. After that, I will be iterated to 1. That means 0th iteration is completed. Now I value is 1. Again, j value will be 0. That is inner for loop. So 1, 0 position value is 3. And again, j value iterates from 1. That means 1, 1 position is 4. Okay. Actually, these lines are not mandatory. I am printing the matrix again. So these are not required actually. Okay. So if you want to shorten the program, you can remove these lines. That means the given matrix is, you can display like, because you can know what elements are stored in which positions. Okay. How I am printing, I will explain this. Okay. So here I am taking I in range of R, j in range of C. That means I iterates from 0, j iterates from 0. That means the first element will be stored in, I am getting a space here in the front. I am just giving. Okay. It is not mandatory. M of 0, 0, that's for just for looking purpose only I am telling. Okay. So M of 0, 0, that means 0, 0 element is 1. So 1 element is printed here. After that, and equal to space. Now space is printed after 1. After that, C value will be, that means j iterates 2 times because C value is 2. So I started from 0 and j started from 0. After 0 iteration is completed, 1 will be printed. So after j will be 1, then M of 0, 1 element will be printed like 2. So then j iteration is completed because C already value that is 2 only. Then print line will be executed. That means it will enter into the new line. That means 3 will be printed here like this. Okay. Because I value will be incremented to 1 and j will be 0. That means 1, 0 element will be 3 printed here. And after that, j value will be incremented, 1, 1 portion will be incremented here. Okay. So here, how to perform the operation? We can just write a single operation. Here actually, one of the student taken this example. She is taking one more matrix, but actually it is not needed. Okay, because many students have written like this only. That's the reason I am explaining this program only. So actually, when you are performing the transfer of a given matrix, you can just print. That means this is M1 of Ij, for example. If it is a matrix M of Ij, okay, you should change the positions of rows and columns here. That means instead of R, I am giving C here in the first iteration. That means in outer for loop, and in the next iteration I am giving C. That means here I am changing to R. Okay. After that I am printing the MT of Ij. This is another matrix. I am storing the values 0 by default. That's the reason I am giving 0 like this. M of Ji. That means it will store that 0 Ji portions will be stored in Ij portions. That means M of Ii. That means, for example, if you are taking 0, 0 first element, okay, 0, 0 first element, that will be stored as it is in the matrix. That means whatever the transposition you are taking like empty matrix, it will be stored like this. But for next I value will be 0 and the j value will be 1. In that case, empty of 0 1 will be stored the value like m of 1 0. That means 1 0 value is 3. M1 0 value is 3. So that means you just transfer the portions of j and I. This is the only logic. Okay. But here we can rename the, we can just shorten the program. 1 minute guys. I will remove all these things. Okay. So actually this line is not mandatory here. I am removing because so many students are done like this. That's the reason I am telling. Okay. So now I am getting errors, right? So here I am printing directly. I am removing this space also, and I am removing this line also. Okay. So now I am giving m. So if I am giving the same line, I will get 1 2 3 4. So instead of that, you just give a logic key. This is the only logic we have to understand. Here just put ji. Here you just put ji. So whenever you put ji, that means 0 0 positions will be, if you transfer the positions, it will be 0 0 only. If you transfer that 1 1, if you interchange 1 1 position also, it is 1 1 only. But if you transfer 0 1 position, it will be 1 0, right? So that's the reason this is the main logic here. This program, the main logic is here. And here the number of rows should be interchanged with columns, and the inner for loops columns will be replaced with R, because if you are getting 2 by 3 matrix here in the earlier, you will get a 3 by 2 matrix, no? So that's the reason only I am giving like this. So this is the example guys. So I hope everyone understand this concept. Let me run it again. Now I am giving 2 rows 3 columns. Okay, because we have already seen that enter the row size 2. I am giving 3. 2 by 3 means we have to enter 6 elements. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now I am getting, you can see the transfer of a given matrix. 1 4 are the first row, because here you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is actually 2 by 3 matrix, but we are getting 3 by 2, because why it is called a 3 by 2? 3 rows and 2 columns. So this is 3 by 2, but that means I am taking a 2 by 3 array and I am getting a 3 by 2 array. So I am getting the correct answer guys. So this is the easy way to understand the problem. So that means here you just have a concept like you just have to interchange the values of ij with ji. If you remove these lines also, that's fine. Okay. So given matrices, you can add like given matrices. Okay. So I will copy here and I will just wait guys 1 minute. I'm forwarding to chat box. If you want to run it, you can run, no problem guys. Okay. But please guys, everybody, please do the assignments, whatever the assignments I have given every day. Okay, please. Next. And yesterday we have discussed about matrix multiplication program. In that one student asked the doubt, I think Monica, her name is finally reached student. So really I'm very happy for that question, what she is asking, what she has asked yesterday. So 1 minute, let me clear the console. So this is the question, that is matrix multiplication we have discussed yesterday. Let me copy this and I will open a new window because so many programs are here. I will open new window. Okay, so this is the program yesterday we have discussed today. So this is matrix multiplication. Before going to explain the today's concept, I would like to tell one thing. So actually this was the program submitted by one of our student from 3rd CSC. Actually I did not check it actually, so that's the reason I explained clearly. So here she done like R1 on so many given like functions, but I have given like C1 not equal to R2. I have changed that condition only. But here I observed one wrong. I think she observed wrong. Her name is Monica. Thank you, Monica, once again. And I will tell that answer. Okay. So for example, here I am performing the matrix multiplication, guys. So let me run this program. She is asking if I am taking one row, 3 columns. 1 row, 3 columns. 1 minute, I think. Enter the number of rows. Okay, fine, no problem. So I am entering 1 row, 3 columns. Okay. So that is I will write here, guys, because I will ask one question to you. I am giving 1 by 3 for matrix 1. Okay. Hope you understand, guys. Okay, Monica. Anyway, it is also fine, I think so. I will give. Okay, no problem. Thank you, Monica. 2 by 1 and 1 by 3. She has given like that. Anyway, I will give like this. Okay. So 1 by 3. I am giving like 3 by 2. Whatever it may be, no problem. I will give 3 by 2 now. Here, matrix 2 elements should be 3 by 2. Can you please tell me what is the resultant matrix, guys? Please mention in the chat box. What is the resultant matrix? Why are you so dull, guys? Please respond in the chat box. More than 220 students are there here. Yes, yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So the resultant matrix should be 1 by 2. Right. Fine. Thank you. So okay, wait, guys. So let me run this program. Enter the matrix elements. 1 by 3 means we have to enter 3 elements. 1, 2, 3. Next elements is 3 by 2. That means I have to enter 6 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I am getting the error. Okay. So I will tell you what is this error. So yesterday we have discussed about this question. So what is this error? I will explain, guys. So actually here, so one of the students submitted this code actually. So here I am writing like 0 J in, here she put like here R1 and C2. This is the logic wrong actually. In matrix 3, you already told that. So what is the resultant matrix? Everybody is saying that in the chat box. So this is R1, guys. This is C1. And this is R2. This is C2. So that means if you perform this matrix multiplication, you will get 1 by 2. That means 1 is the R1 and 2 is the C2. Okay. So that means in outer for loop, we have to give R1. In inner for loop, we have to give C2. So this is the only single mistake, because yesterday we have discussed about 2 by 3 and 3 by 2. So this is the question we have discussed actually. So that's the reason we did not get any error, because in the resultant matrix should be 2 by 2. But in this case today we will get the resultant matrix 1 by 2. That means if you change these positions, so our result may giving wrong errors. But here yesterday we did not get any error for this, because here whether it is there in R1 or C2, it is not getting any error. That's the reason so we did not look into that. Okay. So but so she explained that there is a mistake in this program. Thank you, Monica, once again. And she is EC student. I really happy. And even CSC students also noticed not noticed this problem, because I already shared this in the chat box also. Okay. So this is the wrong actually. So you have to change the value, like here you have to give R1, guys. Here you have to give R1. Here you have to give C2. Because the resultant matrix you have to give R1 with C2, right? This is outer for loop, this is inner for loop. Let me run with the same numbers. I will give same numbers like 1 by 3 and 1 by 3. What are the value? 3 by 2. Okay. 1 by 3, 3 by 2. I will run the program again. Now I am giving 1 by 3, 3 by 2. Now I am entering first elements, like 1 by 3 means I have to enter 3 elements. 1, 2, 3. 2 by 3, 3 by 2 means 6 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I am getting the answer. Okay. Now I am getting the answer. You can check easily. Okay, guys. So whatever you are telling, we are getting the correct answer, guys. Because you already told 1 by 2. That means 1 row, 2 columns. You already mentioned in the chat box, guys. Because I have taken like 1 by 3 and 3 by 2. 1 by 3 and 3 by 2. You can check 1 by 3 and 3 by 2. So 1 by 3, I am taking 1 and 3 by 2. So resultant matrix should be 1 by 2. That means 1 rows, 2 columns. So our answer is exactly correct. So you just interchange the positions. So yesterday, so we did some mistake. Here we have to give R1 and here we have to give C2. Once again, I'm just sending the answer to your chat box. Okay, fine. Thank you. I hope everybody is completed what are the various matrix operations up to now. So these are the various questions we have to discuss, because these are the very important questions, especially in programming. Okay. So now today we will discuss about the recursive functions. Yesterday we started actually. So yesterday I already told that recursive function definition is very important. The function calls by itself is called a recursive function. That means basically many students think like that every programs can be easily written by using for loop and while loop. Nobody, sir. No, please don't think in that way. I will tell you guys, because whatever the programs you are doing with loops, it can be done easily in recursive function also, using recursive function also. You should remember this concept, because recursion is so far better than in compared to loops. in some situations like towers of Ni problems. Okay, that means whenever you are writing a code using for loop and while loop, like I'm just asking like towers of Ni problem like that, so you have to write at least 25 lines of code, I think. Okay, but within 6 lines of code we can easily do by using recursion. So that means recursion having a lot of advantages compared to attrition, but it will take some overhead concept, because recursion can be used in so many ways, like stacks. You can create stacks, you can create data structure applications, you can create a postfix to infix to postfix evaluation. We can evaluate the postfix expression by using stacks. Okay, so those are all can be done using recursion topics also. Okay, even we usually discuss about the concepts of data structures using recursion, stack using recursion, queue using recursion. Okay, instead of arrays, if you are using recursion also, we will gain some that means using a linked list, we'll have a lot of topics with recursion. Okay, so anyway, I will tell you guys, yesterday just only I have given an introduction. If you are calling on method, and if you are giving the same method again in the body, then that function is called as a recursive function. So as per the name I'm giving like recurse here, this is a user defined function. You can give any name, I'm just giving for understanding purpose. I'm telling, if I'm giving recurse here, okay, so then it will execute the recurse function. In that body, if you find the recurse again, this is called recursive function. That's all. This is simply what is meant by recursion. Okay, so now coming to the question of factorial, and I already discussed about the factorial program. Anyway, I will tell you now how to do the same problem with the help of, 1 minute, recursion. So this is very easy logic, guys, actually. So when you're thinking about this question, it is showing like a very big problem. Okay, so but it is very easy, guys. So I will tell you how it will work. You know that everybody is saying that what is the value of 5 factorial. I'm giving the factorial of 5 is 120. The factorial of 5 is 120. Next, so here you can easily observe that the logic is very easy. Actually, in Python we have factorial is a predefined function, but this factorial is not a predefined function here. Okay, see, this is a user defined function, because if you are giving a factorial function, you have to declare a math, import math. But here I did not included any import math in our program. That means this is not a predefined function. Anyway, I will change the function name, because you may confuse. That's the reason I would like to change the function name. Wait for a moment. I would like to give like fact. Okay, because fact is a user defined function. I'm giving a name like that. Now I'm giving fact here only, and here I am calling the function here. This is fact. Okay, so now the errors will be removed. Again, I am running the program. I would like to ask 4 factorial. I'm getting 24, guys. Okay, I hope you understand now. So here the factorial is not a predefined function, because we have the predefined function factorial in Python. I agree with you, but it should be when you're declaring the math import, that means import math, then only it will works, because you have to call that math.factorial, right? So in that method you can do like that. Okay, so you can directly call factorial, not require any math.like, because if you declare math, no, that's not an issue at all. And here you should understand, I already explained the concept using, I think, for loop also. I use it in the important programs. I have discussed how to find out a factorial of a number by using a simple f equal to f into 1 logic. Okay, so I have used it already. I have discussed that problem anyway. Let me explain how to find out the factorial using recursion. That means using recursion. So I did not use any loop here. You can check here. I did not use any loop here. Anyway, the program always execution starts from 8th line onwards. Okay, because def is a function definition. That means the body of the function will be executed whenever you declare that function, whenever you are calling that function in the main. That means here, this is the main actually. Okay, so that means the main lines are nothing but main here. Okay, there is no main function at all. Number equal to input of enter any number. So I am giving 4. That means it will be stored in num variable. It will be stored in num variable. As you know already, the factorial of 4 is 24. I think if any students are not familiar with how we are getting 24. So 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is nothing but 24. This is nothing but 4 factorial. So in mathematics we have, what is the value of 4 factorial? Okay, actually we have a symbol like 4 factorial in mathematics. We usually display like this, but there is no symbol like this. Okay, so in programming we do not use that operator, because that is a not operator, which is predefined actually. Okay, so anyway, now I'm taking the factorial of num is, the factorial of 4 is, it will be displayed like this. fact of num. This is a calling function. This is a calling function. So this is a calling function. So here, whenever I am giving fact of num, this num is a actual parameter or actual argument. I already told you guys, this is a calling function. The arguments which are passed at the calling function are called as actual arguments. Now this num means num is a 4. This fact of 4 means this will call this method. That means whenever this line is executing, control is going back to this position and number is allotted to the value called n. Here actual parameters and formal parameters both may different or same, whatever it may be, that's not an issue at all. That means if you are giving a num also here, it will not get any effect. It will not get any effect in our program. So but I am changing a variable to n. Okay, so you can give num also, that is also fine. Now this is a recursive function to find the factor of a number, the factor of an integer. Why this number, this logic is called as a factorial recursive function? I will tell you guys. If you see the body, that means this is the body of the factorial. Okay, so in this we are having like method again fact. We are having a method again fact. That means if you are calling one method fact, in that body you are having another method like fact. This is called recursive function. The function calls by itself is called recursive function. Anyway, I will tell you guys. N value is 4 now. 4 equal to 1. How 4 will be 1? No, it's false. 4 equal to 0. It is also false. Both are false. Then it will execute the else part. Why I have given this condition? You know already. We know that the 0 factorial value is 1 only. And 1 factorial value is 1 only. In mathematics. Okay. 0 factorial also is 1 and 1 factorial is also 1. That means whether it is, if you are giving 1, enter any number, if you are giving 1 also it will give 1. If you are giving also 0 also it will give 1. That's the reason I am telling if n equal to 1 or this is called logical operator. So logical operators will be worked in our programs like this way. Okay. This is called logical OR operator. In C language and Java we have logical OR operators like this. This is the symbol actually. But here there is no this symbol like this. Okay. So OR is a symbol in our operator. Okay, OR. And it is also a keyword. Now I am giving 4 equal to 1, 4 equal to 0. The condition is false. It is execute the else part. So here I would like to explain clearly. So return of n into n value is 4 guys. 4 into fact of n minus 1. N value is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. Here I am calling 4 into fact of 3. Here fact of 3 means again it will go to the body. Again it will go to the DEF function. Now n value will be 3. So that means now a new value of n is 3 because n into fact of 3 means this fact of 3 is a function actually. That's why it is called as a recursive function. The function calls by itself is called recursive function. That means in the function body you will have the same name. Okay. Now 4 into fact of 3. That means now n value is 3 guys. If 3 equal to 1, 3 equal to 0. How 3 equal to 1, 3 equal to 0? Logical OR means at least one condition is true, then it will give return 1. But 3 not at all equal to 1, 3 not at all equal to 0. That means both conditions are false. F or F is nothing but F only. If a false means return 1 will not be printed. So else case will be executed now. Okay. Return of n into. That means here earlier we have 4 into. I am writing as it is. Now fact of 3 replaced with 3 into. Fact of 3 because I am running the function of fact of 3 now. N value is 3. 3 into fact of 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2 now. Okay. Next. Again we are getting fact of 2. Fact of 2 means again it will go to the fact function. Now the n value is 2 guys. Return of 4 into 3. What is the f 4 into 3? 4 into 3 value is 12. 12 into f of 2. That means factor of 2. 2 equal to 1 or 2 equal to 0. Condition false. Return n into, that is 2 into, because n is here 2 only. 2 into fact of n minus 1. That is 2 minus 1. Fact of 2 minus 1 is nothing but fact of 1. Fact of 1. Now it is going to the n. It will value is 1 now. 1 equal to 1 or 1 equal to 0. 1 equal to or 0 is condition is false. 1 equal to 1 is true. That means either of the condition is true, then it will print it return 1. Now instead of f of 1 it will print 1. Now return of 12 into 2 into 1. That means 12 into 2 is 24. 24 into 1 is 24. Return means, so here return means whenever the fact function is calling in the main in this body, that value will be replaced here. That means 24 will be printed here. Return means the control back to the calling function. That is the definition of return. I hope you understand, guys. So if it is clear, please mention the chat box, guys. Is it clear, everyone, guys? What happened 225? If you have any problem, please mention, no problem. Okay, it is clear. Everybody is saying it is clear. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kamal Kumari. Okay, it's clear. So this is the way program will work, guys. Okay, so here, okay, fine. It will run for any number, not only 4 or 5. Okay, you can give 40. Okay, that's not a problem at all. It will give 40 factorial also. It will run, no problem at all. Okay, so so why it is called as recursive function? Once again, I am telling. In function body, while defining the function body, if you are having the same name in the body, that is called recursive function. So yesterday I already told you guys, whenever I am calling main like function, if hi I am main, again you are calling main, that is called recursive function. That means recursive function. But this is called as linear recursion in programming. Linear recursion. What is the example for linear recursion? If you are giving some examinations or interview point of view also, you will get a question like what is the example for a linear recursion? In example, they are giving like Fibonacci series or factorial. You should answer factorial, because factorial is an example for linear recursion. What is meant by linear recursion? I will tell you guys. If you are calling one function, if the function is repeated only once in a program, that means in the body of the program it will be repeated only once, then it is called as a linear recursion. Okay, so linear recursion means it will be called only once. That means it is calling only one time in the body. Sometimes we will get the recursive functions twice. That is called binary recursion. Anyway, we will discuss, no problem. Okay, so I hope everything is clear, guys. So once again I am telling. So here return if n equal to 1, n equal to 0 means, for example, I am running the program again. Now I am giving 0 factorial. What is the value of 0 factorial? You know already. The factorial of 0 is 1. How I am getting? So it is simply executing like this way. Fact of num. Num is allocated as 0. Fact of 0. That means n is 0 now. If n equal to 1, 0 not equal to 1. So that is condition false. 0 equal to 0. Condition is true. Return 1. So output will be printed 1. Because 1 will be written here. So return 1 means the value will be printed here. Okay. So this is the way you print the program, like enter any number, the factorial of 0. It will works like this. Okay. So either of the condition is true. R means either of the condition is true, it will execute the 1. So then. So I will ask one more question, guys. If I am removing n equal to 1 here, I want to ask you a question. Is there any effect in the program? Please tell me, guys. That means, is there any effect in the output? I want to know from you. I would like to give n equal to 0 only. I am removing n equal to 1. You should think once, please. Okay, everybody is saying no, sir. Oh, what? Yes, sir. B9, can you please tell me B9? And factorial value becomes 0. Then fact 1 will be 0. No. How fact 1 will be 0? It will work exactly fine, Shushma. Okay? Let me run it, guys. Let me run it. This is the way you understand. Because in interviews point of view, if you write the logic, then they will ask the question like that. Because they think that you by heart the program. Let me give 1. The factor of 1 is 1. That's absolutely correct I am getting. Because, listen guys, I am calling 1 here. This is 1 here. 1 equal to 0. Condition false. It will go to the else part. Then it will execute 1 into fact of 1 minus 1. 0. Fact of n minus 1 is 0. Now fact of 0 means again n value will be allocated as 0. N equal to 0, return 1. That means f of 0 returns 1. 1 into 1 is 1. That's why I am getting 1 into 1. That is 1. That's absolutely fine, guys. Okay. So that is not mandatory. That's the reason I'm telling, guys. Okay. So if n equal to 1 is not mandatory. Usually you are thinking like n equal to 1 means if you are giving n equal to 1, if you are not giving the n equal to 1, it will go to the else part. Again it will check 1 into fact of 0. Okay. Then fact of 0 automatically gets the value as 1. So that is absolutely works like this. Okay. I hope everything is clear, guys. Let me copy this code and will forward to your chat box. So I hope you observed. Yes, B4 and B9. Please confirm B9, Priyanka. Is it clear now? Shall I move to the next topic? Yes, thank you. Okay, fine. So actually these are the questions enough, guys, for recursion, because in usually when we are discussing about the syllabus according to syllabus. Okay, thank you, Priyanka. Okay, so this part is more than enough actually. Okay, so because I have given an example with respect to one value. Okay, so let me give a detailed syllabus here. Okay, so these are various syllabus points mentioned in the unit 3. So these are only theory concepts, like, but these are all I have explained clearly with the examples only. So this is the concept just now I covered: design with recursive functions. Design with recursive functions. That's all. So I already told what is a recursion and explained what is nothing but. Okay, problem solving with top-down design. Okay, so that means we are doing like top-down design only, because if our program will works from top to bottom, right? We are having like top to top down and bottom up approaches in usually. So anyway, I will tell you guys, don't worry. And before going to that, I would like to explain few concepts about recursion. Anyway, this question is enough, guys, but I will tell in detail. Okay, so that's the reason I would like to cover more topics. So whatever the topic just now I explained to you, so I have already given an explanation with respect to the particular example. If I am giving 3 factorial of 3, 3 into factorial of 2, 3 into 2 into factorial of 1, it will execute like this. Okay, so then I have given a clear-cut example also here. So if I am giving n equal to 1, return 1, it will give the like this. Okay, so this is also just now I explained the tracing of a program. 3 into factorial of 2. Actually it is downloadable in one website, only this diagram, but they did not mention if n equal to 0 here. There is some mistake is there, but anyway, but why I have mentioned here, because whenever you are writing an example, if the question is asking like find a factorial of a given number, if you are giving like find a factorial of a given number, okay, so you can easily write a program. You can easily write a program. That's the reason only I am giving explanation. That means after completion of the program, you have to give the explanation in this way. Then they will think that you will get a logic, guys. Okay, so I think it is clear, guys. Okay, but it is not mentioned n equal to 0, but logic is different. But why I am giving this picture once again, I am telling guys, so you have to explain in this way while we are facing an interview or any examination point of view. You should explain in this way, then only you will get good marks. Because whenever they are asking like factorial of a given number program, okay, so don't think in that way. Just okay, first you should write, okay, let me write in a own. Okay, I'm thinking like own. Okay, I'm just calling like a num is a variable, right? So I'm taking n equal to, so int. Okay, so input of, okay, enter any number. That means we have to enter any number, right? So enter have any number. Okay, so let me take example like this. Okay, so that means what I have to do, so I would like to find the factorial, so I would like to give print fact of n. Okay, so then you should enter, that means here fact of n is a function. That's the reason I am getting error message. So you should give def, then fact of, okay, fact of n. So here what logic we have to do, here fact is a function, you need to give colon. Colon is a open curly brace. Now what we have to do, that means we have to check whether n is equal to 0 or n equal to 1. Okay, so then after that n is equal to 1, then it returns 1 only. Okay, please don't use the printf statement here, because print is already there here. So whenever print is there here, you should return only. If you are not print, if your print message is not there, then you can use print here. Okay, so return 1. After that you need to give else. So if n equal to 1, then we have to think what is the logic inside. Okay, then you should give return only, and this is the logic. That means whenever I am giving like n into, so n into fact of n minus 1. That means whenever I am giving like 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that means you are giving like 4 into 4 minus 3, 4 minus 1. That means 4 into 3. But you just think the mathematics, guys. Okay, that means for example, if I am giving, I am asking about 3 factorial, 3 into fact of 3 minus 1. That is the logic only I am applying here, fact of n minus 1. That's all. So this is the way you think how to write a program. Then, so okay, our program is absolutely right, I think so. Okay, no problem. So let me run it, guys. Now I'm getting entering number, I'm giving 5. So I'm getting 120, that's all. This is the way you write a program. Don't by heart the program. How I am writing here? So this is the way. Then you can decorate your program. You can give E, enter. Some students may think like that, here colon is mandatory. Why colon is mandatory? It is just for understand. It is just for spacing purpose I am giving. If I am not giving a colon also, I will get the output. Some students may by heart, it should be colon here. Colon is not a part of the body, guys. Okay, I'm getting the output 6 factorial also 720. Then you can decorate the factorial of a number is, then factorial of a given number is. You can easily, if you understand the problem in this way, problem factorial of a given number is. Okay, so then comma. Then you can get that message again. If you're giving like enter any number, now I will give 4. Factorial of the number is given number is 4, 24. No sir, I would like to get the value of particular 4 is. Then you should give the factorial of the given number. For example, factorial of a, in double quotes I have given num. That means num value will be printed. For example, here n only I am giving like, okay. So n comma. Then we should put comma here. You can decorate here. Okay. So if you decorate like this, then you will get the program. Then so I am getting factorial of 4 is 24. But don't think like here factorial is there in num. We have to remember. Why? How I am writing the program? So usually in our mathematics, you are just finding a factorial of 4 factorial. That means the logic is 4 into 4 minus 1. That is the logic first, right? That means 4 into 4 minus 1. After that 4 into 3. After that you have to do 3 minus 1, right? That means 4 into 4 minus 1 into 4 minus 2 into, in that way. You should think in that way. That means you just write the logic like n into factor of n minus 1. So how I am writing this logic? It's very easy, guys. Okay, don't by heart the programs anymore. So till now it may happen, but don't do like that. Okay. Now let me move to the next topic, guys. So before going to the recursion, I will go to the other example. Anyway, I explained what are the advantages, because in usually interviews point of view they will ask what are the advantage of recursion. You can do stacks, queues, linked list, quicksort. Because in quicksort and merge sort we are using recursion topic, because in quicksort function you will call a method quicksort again. Okay, because that is mandatory, because it will be works upon divide and conquer approach. Even merge sort also it uses the recursive approach. Okay, so recursion is so far better than compared to loops in some point of view, but sometimes compared to here, so logically it's difficult to trace and debug. That means some students may not understand what are the recursion, because if you're giving it 3 recursion techniques in a single body, some may confuse. Okay, so it is somewhat slow compared to iterations, because some students may think that loops are better compared to recursion. So because they are thinking in that way, but usually I will tell you guys, recursion is so far good compared to iteration. Iterations are nothing but loops. So anyway, now I will move to the binary recursion. Just now I told linear recursion. Linear recursion means the function calls by itself only one time is called as a linear recursion. Now I am moving to the concept like Fibonacci recursion. This is called the example of binary recursion. First of all, I will just copy the code, but I can easily write this code without seeing the notes also. Just now as I did like this. Okay, so this is the approach you have to understand, guys. That's the reason only I'm telling. So, but for moving fast, that's purpose only I'm just copying the code and say pasting here. Okay. Anyway, I will write the shortcuts also. I will tell you the shortcut also. So one thing, this is the binary recursion example. Let me run it, guys. You know that, for example, if I'm for example, if I'm asking the Fibonacci series. So I already explained with Fibonacci series with respect to while loop in important example programs. So if I'm giving the Fibonacci series n value as 5, I will get the series up to 5 numbers. That means what is a Fibonacci number? Every Fibonacci number starts from 0 and 1. After that, you need to add the two numbers of preceding. That means 0 plus 1 is nothing but 1. Okay. If you want to get the third number, you have to get the you have to add the 2 digits before those numbers. That means 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 1 3. So this is the way you have to think. This is the Fibonacci series. 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 3 8, 8 plus 5 13. This is Fibonacci series, you know already. But if I am giving 5, it will display 0 1 1 2 3. That means 5 positions will be displayed, up to 5 positions, not up to 5. Okay, 5 means you are thinking like this 5. This is not 5. Okay, I am telling that 5 numbers will be printed. Okay, so let me clear all the drawings, guys. So let me run it, guys. Now I enter n value. I am giving 5. I am getting 0 1 1 2 3. Let me execute again. If I am giving like 10, so 10 numbers will be printed in series. 0 1 1 2 3 5 8 13 21 34. How I am getting the program like this? Okay, anyway, I will explain you guys. So I will tell it 5 only, because it will take a lot of time, right? So how I'm getting this Fibonacci sequence. So this is a very lengthy program you are thinking like, but it can be done in 3-4 lines also, but I will remove the lines, don't worry, guys. So first of all, let me explain, guys, how I am getting the execution. So first of all, let me know, in the previous program we have given like fact function. It should be repeated in a one time in a body of the program. only one time in the return function, return statement. But here you should observe that here the fib is a user defined function. That means I have defined like the fib. You can define your name also, that's not an issue at all. But here the fib function is repeated twice. That's why it is called as a binary recursion. There are two types of recursions, binary recursion and linear recursion. Okay, so linear recursion is nothing but the function will be called only one time. That is it will be called two times is nothing but binary. Bi means two, that's the reason it is getting two times. So this is called binary recursion. That means because in an interview point of view also, what is the best example for binary recursion? They will use dash. Some students may think like factorial in GCD, and so third option Fibonacci. The option is Fibonacci series. Next. So let me run it. So enter the n value. I am giving 5. So here it will be works like this. I am giving 5. So here 5 less than or equal to 0. 5 not at all less than or equal to 0. So condition is false. It will go to the else part. Fibonacci sequence. This line will be printed on the output screen. Now I am giving a for loop here. I in range of n. What means I ranges from n? That means n value is 5. That means I ranges from 5 means I started from 0. It iterates to until 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So totally it will iterate 5 times. That's the reason I am getting 5 values. You should understand carefully why I am giving for loop here. Now print fib of I and equal to space. This and equal to space is nothing but which is, the elements will be printed with space. And fib of I, what is fib of I? This is a function calling. This is called calling function. And I is a which argument, guys? Please mention in the chat box. I would like to ask you guys. Please tell me I is a which argument? What is the name of I? Very good, very good. Is it actual or formal argument? I am asking the question like, is it actual or formal argument? So very good, guys. Actual arguments. Even in the question papers also, you may get the questions to explain about the actual arguments in functions. The arguments which are passed in calling function is called as actual arguments. Okay. So this I is nothing but now I value is 0, guys. So this value will be fib of 0. That means fib of 0 means whenever fib is calling, it will go to this part and I value will be elected to 0. That means here n value will be elected as 0 because I started from 0. If 0 equal to 0, return 0. That means 0 will be printed here. Because 0 equal to 0 condition is true now. Now it will not check else and elif part because it is true here. Then n equal to 0 return. Return means it is controlled back to the calling function. That means it is again going to this function. But here after that it will go to the ith iteration. That means I0th iteration is completed. Now it will remove and it will go to the 1. Now fib of 1. Now fib of 1 is calling. Now 1 will be replaced with n value. Now 1 equal to 0 condition is false. Now it will execute L if 1 equal to 1. If 1 equal to 1, return 1. That means 1 will be printed. As I told you already, elif is a else if function. As we discussed in the C language and Java, we used to call it as else if. But here elif is a keyword. We can call it as else if. Okay, in this way also. So here 3 conditions are there. That's the reason I'm using if else instead of if else. I'm using if else. Okay. Next. So after 1 is also printed, then it is again going back to the return statement and it is going to the I value will be iterated to 2. Now I value will be iterated 2 means now fib of n is 2 now. 2 equal to 0 condition false, 2 equal to 1 condition false. Now it will go to this part. Return now fib of 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1. Plus fib of 2 minus 2. You should understand very carefully, guys. Fib of 0 because I am giving 2 value now. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. You already know what is the fib of 1 value, fib of 0 value. Because whenever it is fib of 1, again it is going back to the n value 1. Then it will execute this 1. Fib of 1 is nothing but 1 equal to 0, 1 equal to 1 is 1. That means it returns 1. Just now we discussed earlier, like fib of n minus 1 is 1. That means fib of 1 value is 1, you know already, right? Fib of 0 value is 0. That means 1 plus 0, 1 plus 0 is 1. Return 1. That means 1 will be returned here. Okay. So that means recursion is function calls by itself. Okay, this is called the function calls by itself is called a recursion. Next, coming to the ith iteration, now I will be iterated to 3. Now I iterated to 3 means n value will be 3. N value will be 3. So now 3 equal to 0, 3 equal to 1 condition false. Now fib of 3 minus 1. That means fib of 3 minus 1 is fib of 2 plus fib of 3 minus 2. That is fib of 2 is 1. Now fib of 1 value is already we know, right? So fib of 1 value is 1. Fib of 2, just now we did like fib of 2. What is the value? Fib of 2 value returned earlier? That is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. That's the reason it is getting 2. You understand very carefully, guys. Once again, I am not repeating because fib of 2 means again 2 will be allotted to n. 2 equal to 0, 2 equal to 1 will be checked. The Mali fib of 2 minus 1 is 2. Fib of 1, fib of 2 minus 2 is 0. That means again it will print 1 plus 0 is 1 only. It will do like that. That means that's why it is called as recursion. Recursion is a completely executing itself. Okay, you should understand carefully. So this is the way the program will work, guys. And then I will be iterated to 4. Now 4, fib of 4 will be printed 4 equal to 0, 4 equal to 1 condition false. Now return of fib of 4 minus 1 plus fib of 4 minus 2. That means fib of 3 plus fib of 4 minus 2 is fib of 2. Fib of 3 value is just now we discussed 2. Fib of 2 value is 1. 2 plus 1 will be 3. This is the way you will think. Okay. After 5 I in range of 4 iterations are completed, the loop will be skipped and remaining iterations will not be executed. So this is the program explanation of Fibonacci series using recursion. Now I will tell you how we can define this program very easily. I will tell you guys. Actually, these are not necessary here. So what I written like this. So usually, if I am asking about Fibonacci series, if any student like, sir, what will happen, sir, if I am giving -5? Please enter a positive. It will give you alert messages like that. Okay. Actually, these are not the part of the code. Actually, okay. In interview point of view also, or in a examination point of view also, you no need to write all these things. Okay. Because you know the rules. Because computer cannot give the wrong answer, right answer with respect to the user. Okay. Based on your instructions you define in the program, it will work, guys. Okay. So if you remove that line also, if you don't enter negative values, then the operations are very easy. If I'm giving 5 factorial now, 5 Fibonacci series here, I'm getting correct answer only. So you don't need to write all these things like if, else. So those are not required. But some students may ask like, sir, I'm giving 10 means I'm getting 10 sequences. Okay, what will happen, sir, if I'm giving -1? The question itself is wrong. Okay, so there is no Fibonacci series for -5. Then how can you give the -5? So that's the reason you should always think like a positive way. Then only you can give positive value. Don't give negative value like that. Okay, so you can remove that line also. It should be fine. Sir, can we decrease the size, sir? Okay, easily you can do, no problem, guys. For example, let me remove all these things. I am removing all these lines. That means I can remove all these 4 lines. Instead of I can write one if condition, that is also fine. Okay. So what will happen? For example, what I have to do, guys. Okay. So can you tell me, guys? Anyone, please please text in the chat box. I would like to remove those 4 lines. I would like to give if condition only. Okay. So instead of that lines, I would like to give if and return only 2 lines. So I'm removing 4 lines. I can give those 2 lines. So if anybody know the program key, please let me know. No, wrong answer. So next. No. I'm asking that once again. I'm telling, guys, I no need to write all the 4 lines here. I can use simple if else also. I can done the same program. Can please anyone tell the logic? No. So no, I'm not asking about ternary operator, Pawan. So that means we can simplify the condition. No. So you if you give and or also it will not works. It will not works. Because usually I'm thinking in a different way how the program will works. Removing elif, yes, that is the question I'm asking. Yes, I would like to remove elif. That's the reason only I'm asking, guys. Yes, excellent. So Vishnu, super, you're absolutely good person. So I'm very happy, guys. So the second CSC student is telling, so the condition is if n less than or equal to 1. So he's telling the absolutely correct answer. Okay. So he's thinking like me. Okay. Of course he is different, no problem. So written n, that's all. So now it works. So okay, I'm simplifying the condition. Let me run it, guys. So I'm giving the 5 again. Let me check it. Yes, I'm getting the correct answer. So you can simplify the code like this, guys. Okay. Why I'm giving like this n less than or equal to 1 instead of n equal to 0 and n equal to 1? How it will work? Let me explain, guys. So I'm giving n equal to 0 or n equal to 1, right? If I am giving n equal to 1, that means if I'm giving enter the n value as 1, the loop and the series will be printed only 0, right? So for I in range of 1, that means it will ask for I in range of, if I am asking 1, so I'm giving a n value as 1, okay? I means it will take only 0. You know already, right? Fib of 0. Because if I'm giving range of n means range of 1 means it will not take I value as 1. Range of 1 means it will take 0. You should understand very carefully, because range function means if you take the range of 10 means it will print from 0 to 9. You know already, guys. Okay. So according to that rule, if I'm giving n value as 1, it will range for I in range of 1 means it will take the value I value as 0 only. It will call fib of 0. Now fib of 0 means n value will be 0. 0 less than or equal to 1 condition is true, 0 will be printed. So this 0 will be printed like this. So okay, what happens if I'm taking n value as 0? This is the question you may face now. Okay, let me explain, guys. So I'm giving 0 now. Fibonacci sequence for I in range of 0. What is Fib in of range of 0? What will happen now? So this is the way. That means if I am giving for I in range of 0, what will happen? Okay, what will happen? Tell me, guys. Okay, that's the reason I have given a condition like this. Tell me, guys. Because I am giving 0. Because 0 means nothing will, no elements will be printed, guys. I am giving 0 means it is wrong, right? So you can easily observe. I am giving a value like 1. I am getting Fibonacci sequence is 0. Now I am giving enter n value as 0. Fibonacci sequence nothing will be printed. Okay, nothing will be printed. Because I am giving 0 only, right? So the series means whenever I am giving 5 means the 5 elements will be printed. Now I will give 6 or 10 elements, whatever it may be, the program will absolutely fine. Now I'm getting 10 elements. You can found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are the 10 elements we can found easily. By this is called a binary recursion. You can reduce the program in this way. If you think in like this way, for example, is it necessary this Fibonacci series? So this is also not necessary, but it is just like adding the beautification to our program. So that's the reason I'm adding these lines. Okay. So this is the way to you think when you are writing a program, guys. So you should understand very carefully. So only one person have mentioned the answer in the chat box. You should think, you all should think in that way, because so many finalist students also there, and Ambika especially, there is no switch case statement in Python. So you should once again I'm repeating. Okay, you can use simple if else using by this. You just replace n less than or equal. In earlier I'm giving like n equal to 0, return 0. If n equal to 1, return 1. Instead of that, we can add this line. It will get the return n. That means if you are giving 1 also, it will give return 1. If you are giving 0 also, 0 less than or equal to 1, it returns 0 only. Okay. So I'm telling in that way, because here in this 0 means it will not work. But for example, if you are giving like fib of 2 here, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 2, it will return 8. Here it may calculation got if fib of 0. Then fib of 0, that means in that case n will be 0. So 0 less than or equal to 1 means then return 0. In that way it really works. If you are giving 0, the sequence will not be printed. But if you are getting fib of 0, you may get the fib of 0 definitely. For if you are giving a 10 series or 9 series or whatever it may be. So in that case, fib of 0, it returns 0 means it will execute 0 less than or equal to 1 means it will give return 0. So this is the easy code, I think so, definitely. So I will copy the code and I will share to your chat box, guys. Thank you again, Vishnu. Next. So this is called binary recursion, guys. Just now we had discussed it. Oh, today's topics are completed. Thank God. So this is the first day, I think so. So anyway, fine. So I would like to give you a simple task to you guys. That is the GCD finding. Okay. So GCD is also one of the good program to find the recursion using recursion. We can do this using linear recursion. You can do this easily by using linear recursion. So what is meant by linear recursion? Just now I told you guys, because the function repeated only one time in a program, that is nothing but a linear recursion. So I have given a task today to all of you guys. So I hope everybody is understood the matrix operations. I am very happy then. Okay, if you still have facing any issue, you can mention in the chat box. I will wait for a few minutes. Okay, so definitely. So after that, you can ask any questions regarding to matrix multiplication or whatever it may be. And if you have any doubts regarding recursion, you can ask, no problem. And I will give you the task today about how to find out the GCD of a number using recursion. We have already discussed about the GCD logic. Okay, because based on the factors it will work. So I think everybody knows the logic. So by using recursion, you can solve the program. I will give you that today's assignment using GCD only. Okay, so usually whenever I'm starting the class, I always use it to log in before 10 minutes. But from 5 days onwards, I'm not starting within 10 minutes, before 10 minutes, because in YouTube recordings, so for the first 10 minutes is not recording in a proper way. So I'm getting a lot of silence. So that's the reason I'm starting every day exactly 5:30. Okay, now the time is 6:30, guys. Thank you all of you. Stay home, stay safe. If you have any doubts, I will be here only. Okay, so you can do the GCD program in this way using recursion only. This is the task I would like to give you. So thank you all of you. Stay home, stay safe. So if you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay, nobody is asking any doubts. I think everything is clear. Thank you very much. Please think in a proper way to understand the programs, guys. Okay, so then only you will get how we are getting the logic and all. Okay, hope everything is clear. So thank you once again. So I will wait for a few minutes. Still, if any students are having doubts, let me know, please. If you don't have any doubts, you can leave, no problem. Okay, nobody is asking the questions, guys. Thank you all of you. Be happy, stay home, stay safe. Take care. Bye bye.